And the first item of business, ladies.
Do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
2:34.
Is the minutes of March 6th. Do we have any questions, comments? Do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes of March 6th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report.
Now, as this is a special meeting, if there's nothing new since our last monthly meeting, we can probably skip this.
Well, this is the report I prepared for our last monthly
the
meeting.
last meeting that we
which-
didn't
which
get.
that we
Okay,
didn't
very good.
actually have. So, general expense account, $399.50. WHC revenue, $400. Town farm expense account, $6,919.22. WHC trust account, $18,928.31. Town farm trust, $7,005.39. And the Wolf Pit School Trust, $7,941.52. So the one notable thing here is that the town farm expense account has a much larger balance than it usually does because
To
we...
pay for the costs, yeah.
Yeah, we got money from the city from the town to pay for the repairs at the town farm. The other thing to report is we are going to go over our budget this year.
Okay,
And I don't know what the consequence of that is, but
We have to have a bake sale then.
a bake sale. I will find out. Yeah.
or sell somebody's house.
Somebody's house, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's worth talking to someone and finding out.
Yeah, I'll talk to Nicole.
I have a feeling we,
Yeah.
okay. Do I hear a proposal in terms of the treasurer, a motion in terms of the treasurer's minutes?
I move that we accept the treasurer's report.
In treasurer's reports?
What was the date?
It's actually dated May 1st.
May 1st.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, we have one more minute. Do we have any applications for certificates of non-applicability while we're...
Well, we have one for June 1st,
Okay,
and that is replacing a roof. A demo-
like for like.
Like for like, like for like,
Okay,
certificate of non-applicability.
very good. And that's for what address?
1945 Main Road,
Thank
my
you.
house.
Thank you. Okay.
But we also had, actually, for May 1st, two more.
Oh, well, do we need to go through all of them? If we-
And I can't remember where I just saw
I'll
them.
tell you what, we don't have to do it now.
No,
We
wait
only
a
have one more
minute,
minute
it's right
before.
here.
Okay.
1885B Main Road,
Mhm.
Nancy Carlisle and Kath Tomlin. Replace French doors, Anderson, on the back of the house. Faces south, like for like.
Okay.
Are they exactly the same model? Because otherwise, I think we need to,
Well,
Take
the
a
question
look.
is it visible from a public way?
well, that is a question.
Because if I remember correctly, this is probably, there's 18.
On the back of the house,
1885.
it does face south, but I don't,
1885B is set back, though. isn't
Yeah, it is.
Way back. So it's probably, I don't know if it's visible or not.
I mean, if someone came and said,
All right.
I'm going to replace a window like for like, we
Right, right.
somewhere I had.
wouldn't give them.
Right, no, we wouldn't give them that leeway.
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's find
Next.
out. So
We're
just
Holding-
contact them, ask them to have a picture of the existing door and a cut of the
Actually, I
door.
think we do. I just didn't bring it.
Okay, very good. If we've got it and it matches up, then it's okay.
And the other one was 1977 Main Road, Kristen Wilkins.
Wilkinson.
Rep-
Wilson.
Wilkson,
Wilson.
replace wooden platform on the back of a house, like for like. It's just north of what I refer to as the Charles Adams house, the mansard, the big one, the barn. And you literally can't see the deck because it's on ground level.
Okay,
My friend Margaret owns the barn.
okay. Got it. Okay,
So those were the only two that we had, which were officially in May.
very good. Okay, and now, Jeff, whenever you're ready, we're ready.
Okay, right. Good evening.
Good evening.
Here we're having a great weekend coming up. There's supposed to be no rain, so hopefully that'll be good.
Drought, that's not so good, but it's,
Oh, we had 2 inches, so.
yeah, but
Anyways.
it has to be spread out.
Yeah, I know. You gotta spread out.
Are these, can we look at these two? One-
Yeah.
And you
yeah.
can look at this if somebody needs to.
So this is at 2034 Main Road.
Yes.
The land is a long, slender parcel. That's the existing and proposed. This is the existing, the top row is all existing, the next row is all proposed, and the photos of the existing are down below, so if you have any questions, you can easily see.
A point to the front of the house. I said point to the front of the, yeah.
That's the front
What's
of the house.
distinctive is the arcade, or,
Yeah,
The porch.
the porch.
that's a porch?
Well, it's
It's an awning.
a copper roof and your entryway, so it's covered. So, what I'm here for is two things. One, this portion of the building right here is the main part, the original house, 1774. The addition of the sunroom was put on sometime after 1905, because I have a picture of 1905 with sheep in front of it, without that. And this portion back here is from 1995, about, right around that, just to bring it all in perspective. There's really two areas where I'm trying to work on, and it's mostly windows and doors that I'm replacing. First of all is the sunroom, and the second portion is the 1995 addition out in the back. So those, all the windows are falling apart, and I don't really care for how they're organized either, so it's a pretty odd addition. He probably would not have approved it if it came today, would have been a good thing. Anyways, so right now we currently have sliding doors, wooden doors, single pane, falling apart on the three sides of the porch. There's really no scale. They're about 39 inches wide, so it's really out of proportion and kind of heavy looking. So one of the things I was trying to do is to bring that scale down a little bit. These are actually casements. I looked into doing doors, but this seemed to be a better way. I think the styles are all a little bit lighter, and you can really start to make this into something a little bit more elegant or designed than just slapped together on the side of the building like that was. So we have windows in there, across here, and across the back. So it's here, here, and here. And we have a door going out the back right here. The current door is right here. So it's on that side. And there used to be a platform there that you could get out, but it rotted, so I threw it away. So we're going to reorganize that and put another little landing out there so you can get out and down. So that is one piece of it. The windows used here is a pellet. Both of these are pellet. This one is a little bit finer detail. It has an overlay.
Because they're casement, there's no parting strip. Right.
No, there's not here, but there's these.
Yeah.
Have
The
all
Mun- the
mountains.
Muntins.
Yeah,
Mountains. But the mountains look to be the same, I mean.
they do. Well, this was, I
Okay.
planned this, so
Okay.
thank you.
That's all right. I'm interrupting, go ahead.
This is going to be seen from fairly close up.
Yeah.
That, you'll see anywhere from probably 8 times as far as you're looking at it right now to a quarter of a mile over to the other 88.
Mhm.
So that one is a cheaper window, less expensive, I should say, than this.
Ah.
And that's why I'm making the change. That one has a typical replication of a glazing strip, you know, it's just
Mhm.
angled
Mhm.
instead of having the finer detail.
Okay.
And I thought that was fine, trying to keep the older house a little bit.
So if I understand, you're talking about these for the sunroom and this for the addition, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
with one exception, I'll get to that.
Okay.
But that's what the thing would be. You can't really see the difference, even if I put them next to each other, it's very, very difficult to see the difference, so
Yep.
I felt comfortable with that.
Yep.
The other place where I'm gonna be putting this
Mhm.
is on the older building itself.
Mhm.
And where that is in the existing, we have this horrendous bay window thing that never should have been put onto this.
And
Right.
that's facing east?
That's facing east.
Yeah,
So you won't see it from the road, but you see it from the water and you see it from 88.
right.
Okay. So my proposal is to take that out and to put windows in here, 3 windows in there. Same scale exactly as the ones in front of the originals,
Mhm.
same size. And they would be right here. And that would also be of this, because I
Mhm.
want to have the older house, the original, really, really pristine. In fact, when I do the trim around here, I will even.
Match your
It's not
existing.
going to be 5/4, it's going to be, you know, pop right out.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna make sure that happens. So that's that piece. I do have one, kind of a inquiry here. This is a old beat up bulkhead,
Yes.
constantly leaks.
Mhm.
In this proposal, I would be redoing it to make it look exactly as it was, but it's gonna leak, you know, anyways. And, I mean, I can make it not leak, but the other proposal would be to get rid of it and actually have a little deck there that hides it and that would lift up to get
That was
there.
that-
Like a trap door
this?
kind of thing?
So that one is this one right here.
Okay.
And you don't have
I don't
this,
have
this
it.
alternate, which you can pass around. It just makes the bulkhead go away, and then this would be a little.
So basically, you put a deck, you're putting a deck on top of a
Yeah,
stair,
it'd be-
on top of a stair.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and then I'll put a
That's
typical
very
kind of
attractive right there.
bulkhead
Sort of
underneath it,
bulkhead
that would be
there.
more.
Oh, you will put a bulkhead under
So
it?
be
Yeah,
like a
right.
trap
You wanna
door?
see it.
Be like
Yeah.
a trap door then to get into, to access the
Yeah.
stairs?
Yeah, I've done that before with houses and others. So,
Yeah, yeah.
It works
Okay.
pretty well, get rid of the openings.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's that piece, so if that's acceptable, then
I
I would
ate bulkheads
substitute
anyway.
that piece for this.
good.
But you keep that in your brain. Now, in the back addition, we have, on the first floor is my kitchen, second floor is the master bedroom. This is the existing, there's a pressure treated structure here for the roof to get into the side of the kitchen. Right there, that's a door. And on the end, it's this Palladian-esque type window arrangement.
Mm.
You know what Palladian is? It's
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
would have a little round top. And this is a triple window right here for getting sunshine in there. What I'm proposing, and then on this side over here, there's nothing on this side. This is
Right.
this side right here, which I did not submit this set number 6 pages to, into it. I forgot to. And then I think in the back of my mind, I thought, well, can't even see it from anywhere. Well, you can. So that's
Got
the
it.
view from the roadway. You
Okay.
don't have that photo either. You can see just the corner of one of the an existing window.
Yeah.
So, you know, like this window, you'd be able to see that portion of this one.
Sorry about this little
Yeah.
thing
Yep,
bumps out.
yep, yep.
But, so now I need to bring it in and bring it to you. So that's an additional one. And I do have extras of these so that if it is passed, then I can sign it and you can submit it. So that's the existing right in there. And what I'm proposing is to take windows in here. This would be for the bedroom. This is for the kitchen area and the sink area right in there. And as you come around the corner, you have a couple windows there. You still have 3 windows up here, but they're all the same height and a doorway. This underneath here is a little food prep area for outdoor cooking. It does have a.
So is that an
cover on top of it.
extension of the addition?
What's that?
That's an extension on the addition?
Yeah, this is, you can see it over here on
Okay.
the backside. This is existing right
Uh-huh,
in here, some
uh-huh.
of the windows. And then this is just, this is the deck right here, and right up to that point, and then a little half wall and a little roofed area over there. And that would be right in here. This whole thing is, I think it's 7 feet, maybe about 7 feet long, maybe between 6 and 7 feet wide. I think one of the things that it does for me is when you look at this, 2 things. When you look at this is totally out of scale. I actually looked at this trying to see if I could keep this as make it look like
Like a greater pitch or something?
yeah, and I couldn't.
No.
No matter what I tried, I couldn't get it to work because they just didn't line up, and it turned out they just end up with a pitch like this,
Yeah,
which is
yeah, yeah.
not right.
It looks like a gingerbread
So I tried to
house.
break it up a little bit differently. This building's just so tall and so skinny, it's just horrible. So I tried to break it down with this here and also with the deck on the back here to try to break the scale down to give it a little more scale, more elegance to it all. So that was all the reasoning in that, right there. So, you can see right here, again, this is the existing part that I'm talking about right here. A little deck right there. And this portion right here, this little piece right there is the roofed area. And then this is a lower terrace, 2 steps down.
Mhm.
Again, as you look at this, what level of scale it is,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying to
way
break
up.
it down by putting a platform here,
Uh-huh.
and then the earth slopes off, so I don't want it sticking up. And that's why I would take it to here and then step down and have another one here.
So
Okay.
terrace it down.
Yeah, terrace it down, and then you just have a few more steps to get down to the ground,
Okay.
rather than having that,
Yeah, yeah.
really ugly, wall, and stair on the wall, so.
Deb, would you send the packet down?
Oh, sure, here's
To
the
this
packet.
end? So-
We have one down here.
Here's another one. Okay, and so just so I'm clear, so you're getting rid of this
Yeah,
bay
I'm good.
window altogether, and that's what the deck would be?
Yeah, actually, the deck is only gonna be over this. When I put it over here, it's gonna actually just be a planter. It's just
Yeah.
gonna be a screen in front of it. So right now, it's
So
there
it's
for
like
garden.
two-
It's one of
side
our
by
gardens right
side.
now. I don't wanna lose her garden.
It would be side by side, one's a planter and one's actually just like a
Yeah.
hidden staircase.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
I mean, in front of it, there'll be a skirt. You can see it.
With lattice,
Well, this skirt right here
yeah.
will come, and right here, this is actually a planter. There's no deck to it, and that would be still the planter, and then this would just come over to hide it. and the
Match it.
skirt will come
Yeah,
over
I
too.
like that. That's beautiful.
So
That's
you
a
would-
great idea for
Really stay.
ugly bulkhead.
So far, all these seem like improvements.
So,
Yeah, they're, okay. Well, I think the improvements are very authentic and are going to make the house look much more like it should, and definite improvement to everything you've done.
thank you.
Thank you. It was a good presentation. Very good. Nice.
Looks great, Jeff.
Do we have any questions?
I had a question about the window. The black divider to me is extremely prominent. Is that the only
Well-
option for that window?
The,
I believe, if I remember correctly, this is actually gonna be, this one's actually a gray one, but It's a gray or a silver one, it's not gonna be black inside that. So that'll help it. So it's not gonna be black, because I don't like the black either.
Do you get to specify what that divider is painted as?
Oh, yeah.
This one's got the white, good.
He just had
I like
that
one.
one made because he didn't have one.
Yeah, I think you can,
Okay.
you can,
This is.
Yeah,
they're all
yeah.
custom made, so
Yeah, yeah.
make it whatever color.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's much better.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm gonna, actually, hold on.
You got it.
Yes.
And so these windows in the sun porch will be floor-to-ceiling casements?
Yes. Yeah, the ceiling is a sloped ceiling, so it'll go down to the bottom end of it. And then, yeah, there's a floor ceiling. You can come down and see my ceiling if you want. It's the map of it. So,
Uh-huh.
And no door along here then?
no.
Oh, I see.
No
Wait, the
door.
prep area has a door on it, is that correct? I couldn't see that from
The
the,
east side has a door in it.
yes.
Existing. On
No,
this
no,
side,
the prep area,
closed
the
on
prep
this side.
area in your
The
kitchen,
prep
sorry.
area of the
Oh,
kitchen.
in the kitchen?
Yeah,
The only, yes, that has a door. right
that
there.
will have a door.
Yes, it will have a door.
Yeah,
I'm getting rid of the door on the
I see,
south side.
I got that. And you're putting it over here, and you're stepping, are you stepping down into the prep area?
I'm sorry?
Are you stepping down into the prep area?
No, the prep
No.
area is the same level as.
As the, oh, okay, as the first floor.
And then it steps down. so
Okay.
that-
Do you get enough pitch on that roof? How deep is that?
How deep it is
That,
this?
yeah,
It's probably,
7 feet, you said?
well, that's the, yeah,
That's the
that,
whole
one. If you wanted
length.
to know the height of it.
yeah.
It's probably,
No, I mean, how
Oh.
deep? How far east does it extend, will it extend?
oh, out here,
Yeah,
it goes out the 8 feet, the same as the deck. The deck and it are the same.
it's not a lot of pitch on that. I'm just thinking out loud here.
Yeah, no, I mean, all I'm trying to get is a band around that and not have a roof.
Are you gonna do a flat roof?
Yes, and you won't see it.
I see. So it'll be pitched on on three sides?
It'll be pitched on all on three sides and you go out the back.
Your drawing isn't accurate, but that's okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So-
Exactly right.
How far will it be pitched, I guess is the question.
Well, I'm gonna hide the pitch. You will not see it. Because the fascia.
Oh, you mean
The fascia going around it will be hiding the structure. What I'm gonna have.
you're
is
putting
I'm
a
gonna
fascia on it? Oh, I see, so then there'll be a
Yeah.
drain pipe inside the fascia, a gutter, something.
Yeah, there'll be a gutter either along the backside and then tying into the existing downspout that I have on that corner of
On
the
the
house.
backside, so you pitch it
On
back.
the north, yeah. Yeah, so that it
Okay.
doesn't get onto you. And then either that or I would make it within. But there's a cedar ceiling that's gonna go underneath that. So that's gonna be cedar and then it's gonna have a nice trim going around it.
Yeah, but we won't see that.
Well,
Right?
I guess if you're a boater, you might see it, you know.
I mean, no, I mean,
Yeah.
from the outside. Because that's a little odd to me. That's, I mean, in terms of, just having a fascia board going around.
Yeah, it's like a, I'm having a senior moment, porte cochere, what do you call this?
Porte
Porte
cochere?
cochere?
Porte
Thank
cochere?
you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's open. I mean, it's not open, it's closed.
No, I know it's closed. And what is that? Is that going to be the same siding as you have on the rest of the house, the same shingle? Will you have shingle on that? How are you going to finish that? How are you going to detail that?
So on the north side,
Uh-huh,
it's going to be a continuation of the shingles.
okay, north side continuation,
This,
good.
this type of the detail is the detail that's really being followed on the front porch that I have, that little
Mhm,
porch in the front has cedar shingles and then a cap a white cap and trim around it. You can see that. That's the motif.
The side, yeah, there's the side, okay,
Yeah.
got it, yes.
Yeah. So that'll be on that side, and then that'll turn the corner, only for, about 3 feet, just to cover up the food prep table. And then this up here is wood trim painted. There'll be a little bit of a detail to it.
This is an outdoor food prep area.
This is outdoors, yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm not an expert.
because I'm looking at this, I'm seeing siding, I'm not sure what's going on. Okay.
We don't need to know
It's like
about
an open
the
porch kind of
inside.
thing,
Well,
right?
it's not open, it's got a roof.
One side,
It's got a roof.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But it
so
is fully open,
Underneath.
It's fully open, so how are you supporting it?
There
Yeah.
are columns, 2 columns.
'Cause
One over
again,
here,
I'm not
one
seeing, I'm not seeing them in this drawing. That's where I'm having a problem here.
Yeah, it looks like it's cantilevered off almost instead
No,
of.
it's not
I don't
cantilevered,
see any
it's gotta
columns.
have something.
Yeah, that was a section through to.
Okay, well, did you have a picture that doesn't have a section, isn't the section?
This is a side view of it, and it'll look the same on the pen that you're looking at too. Just that top part, so you have, that's the base. on
Okay,
top and a
there's the
post going down
okay,
to the ground.
you guys wanna see this, yeah, here.
Sorry.
And
Wait,
Jeff,
and here it is
this,
again. Here.
This dimension?
Oh, there's the
is 8 feet
column.
or
Okay, we
There's,
couldn't
yeah,
see.
okay, no, but it wasn't in the,
That's it.
in the,
Yeah,
oh, the other.
16
Okay, we
Yeah,
should.
16 is just
Okay, here,
across
I'll
the,
take that.
So
across the
here's
front of the house.
what Red's
You can
asking,
really
here's
get
the
up.
column support for this.
And so the deck goes, the deck is not completely covered by this.
No, not at all.
Trying to give you.
And the deck, how
Image
big
of
is that first level deck?
Good architect,
So
So
this
much
deck is
better than
8
what's
feet,
there.
yeah.
and then it goes across the front, and it allows me to get up
Right.
the stairs and over, so it comes out that extra. So it's total of 16 feet wide.
8 by 16?
Yeah.
Okay,
And the roof, the porte cochere is.
That goes right to here.
so that's like
So that's like
8?
And so the.
No, it's
It's
not
eight.
8, 6,
It's
it's
eight by
6,
like
it's 6,
six or
maybe, 5, maybe 5.
6.5, maybe somewhere around there.
Okay, okay,
And so you'll have a grill there or something? Is
Yeah,
that-
I'll have a grill there and
yeah.
be able to get out underneath the door, out of the door, and then in without.
But if you're having a grill there, you can't cover it. I'm just thinking you can.
Yeah.
If it's open, you can. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
okay.
it's
allowed.
wide open, so people will-
Okay, okay.
And is there railing on that? Or just completely open all the way to the deck?
So
That's
one right
that's
here.
solid.
This-
That's a,
this is only solid up to the table height,
Right.
but hair more, and then
Okay.
from there up to the roof is wide open.
Okay. Oh, I see, this is the north.
now,
Yeah.
is there a rail on the other side?
So on this side, what I'm doing is I'm extending this. This is all cedar shingles here, and then lattice, cedar lattice underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm extending that up to a, really more of a sitting height,
Okay.
but my grade is less
2
than
feet or
30
something?
My grade is a little bit less than that, but my grade is less than 30 inches, so
Okay,
I will make it that so that I don't have to put a railing.
Okay.
I don't want railings.
okay,
It
good,
looks ugly.
good. And the lower deck doesn't have any railings? Okay. And that's also a deck, right?
Yeah,
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 okay.
that's a deck.
Okay. Further questions, comments?
Any abutters comments?
Any butter comments?
I haven't seen the plan, actually. We didn't receive a copy of this
Are you
in
looking?
advance of the meeting. In advance of the meeting.
It wasn't posted on the bulletin board, or was it?
What number?
Oh,
Posted
yeah.
on the bulletin board.
Okay, it
Yeah,
was
it's
posted on the bulletin board in Town Hall. Okay, doesn't get mailed out, it's posted, yeah.
And I think it was noted in the
Jack,
letter.
is it, I'm sorry, I'm sorry to wait, but are you doing an addition, or is this just a portico type of enclosure?
Just windows,
Windows?
97% of this is windows, or probably 95% is windows, and then the deck and, the eating area.
Okay.
Okay?
Any further comments? Do I hear a motion?
I move we accept the plans.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Monitors.
Oh, monitors, yes. Who would like to monitor?
I'll be a monitor.
Okay.
Jeff, about
Okay,
the
two
color of the
monitors
divider
right
there, is
here.
that in your specs?
Bob,
that you're
have you
gonna
got
do
their phone numbers to give Jeff?
Okay, because I think we probably want
Yeah,
to stipulate
yeah,
that, right?
Well, you guys give your phone numbers to Jeff so that he can, now Jeff?
All of these.
So could we have the whole packet, each of us?
Well, I'm not, you don't get, I don't think you can, because I think there are only two, but,
Oh, okay, well, we can share them.
We could share, I can get a copy from
well,
Jeff.
actually, check with Caroline, because I'm not sure about all the
That's fine.
mechanics on this.
This is,
Jeff can email it to us as
Yeah.
well.
this was the one that was submitted, but this is the one that.
There's
I'd
a
like
lot
him
of
to, I'd like
Because
him to give us
I
like
have
a whole
three
thing
sets
emailed, because then we can
signed.
see it on a
Of
computer.
this.
so I don't have to-
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so you do have three sets, so we have an extra set, okay, fine.
It's not,
So Jeff,
Yes.
you're going to have two monitors, Beverly and Deb,
Okay, great.
and they'll give you their phone numbers. Call them when you're about to begin work. If you're intending to make any changes, you gotta notify them, and they'll decide whether to bring it to us, et cetera, et cetera. And at the time of your completion, call them again,
Okay.
and so that they can look and make sure it's as built as drawn.
Rod, would you pass that down to Deb?
Yeah, here you go, guys. Try that here. Get that.
yes. So things passed around. This is from Carol, had these. I don't have a particular-
Okay.
Do you want it to sign it?
I'll sign it, yeah.
Next will be 2040 Main Road. I assume we've got a presentation on that.
I gave him my email too, if you want to do yours. You can have it.
No, I don't want it.
Okay.
I don't want
You don't
any
want
more
emails?
emails. No.
Okay, sounds good.
Jeff,
Yes.
you can just take our numbers here. when you-
I think you have me
you.
anyway, but just to.
Just extra. One more. Sorry. You have enough?
Yep.
Okay, good.
We're not putting up any.
Thank you very much.
Well, I don't know. Ask Ken.
Window fenestration.
Bear with me.
Bear with him, bear
Nice
with him.
job there. Okay.
Okay. East elevation.
Now, this is signed, so is this something that Greg
Okay,
should have?
got it.
This is gonna be in the file now? So what happens with this, which is the signed one? Should this go in the file?
We have multiple signed ones, I believe, don't we?
Oh, I don't know. I only see this one with the original.
Right.
Are these just Rod?
This is,
Oh, I'm sorry.
this
You
was
want-
Jeff's.
You talking about mine or?
Yes, yours.
this was
So
Jeff's.
I have, on the ones that I told you that I did not submit, I have 3 copies. I'll sign them and give them to you for the actual.
Great, so we'll have
Okay, then I'll
multiple
keep that,
signed.
okay, good. And
But then,
this,
Deborah, we have to sign them,
yes, yeah.
which is.
Well, no, we have to sign the building inspector.
Yeah.
But not, Deborah's gonna keep one, because we've got extra
Oh.
copies. She and Beverly.
We're
sharing.
swimming in plans at the moment.
Right.
We seem to have 2 complete sets. Do you want this one?
I don't, we have to keep one, isn't Carol?
He's gonna give us a fresh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Want this one then? It's got the fold out sheet.
Okay. Yeah, this is Jeff.
That's what he used in the meeting, so it's gonna, it's good representation.
20.
So, this is, I'm Mr. Wise, architect, here for David Jonkus and
Lauren Peters.
Lauren Peters, thank you. I drew a blank. This is 2040 Main Road. It's a small, probably 18th century house sitting behind to the east of 2038 Main Road, which we'll be looking at later. The plans that I have submitted, these are the existing conditions. These are the plans that I've submitted. And we're going to ask you if we can add additional idea to this project at this late date. And we will consider it. And that would be to add dormers to the front and back of the existing cottage. If it's not appropriate to introduce that at this point, we can just review the original proposal.
No, we can review that as well.
Okay. So I can start with the existing house, which this is the north face of the house. It faces up toward
Right.
Jeff's property. This is the south face, and the west toward the street, and the east toward the river. The north elevation has pretty much all original windows in it. They're original plank frame, single glazed windows. The south elevation of the house has some probably late 19th or early 20th century double hung windows in it. The whole house, the whole interior of the house is evidently redone in, again, the late 19th or early 20th century. That's what the detail looks like. It looks like it was completely gutted out and rebuilt. And that was probably the time when these windows were put on the north side. The west elevation has a door, one 19th century window, and an original 18th century window up at the gable.
Okay.
And the south, the east facing, has again a 19th century window and an 18th century window. What we're proposing, first of all, is to elevate the house
Right.
by about a foot.
A plinth.
Yeah, we're gonna, it's sort of sitting on a fairly crumbling little retaining wall. We want to get the house a little bit more out of danger from the floods. We looked at raising it further than 1 foot, but the grading started to become difficult. There's a driveway that runs down right in front of the house, and the whole
Right.
grading thing became kind of awkward.
Right.
There's a site plan in the materials that I submitted originally, which unfortunately I didn't put up here tonight. But raise it a foot with a new concrete foundation underneath it, with a true stone facing, on a shelf, and a concrete foundation. The only thing you will see is stone. And we're not going to use a thin veneer stone. We'll use So, on the north elevation, we will restore the existing antique windows, probably put new storm windows on them. On the west elevation, facing back toward the street, there's one existing window up the gable that we will restore. And 2 windows here, which will build replicas of the existing windows. And those will be true artisan-built plank frame
True
windows.
divided line, yeah,
Just
okay.
to detail exactly
Got it.
like historic
Got
windows. Again, with storms on them. And the door here will be restored, probably with a new 4-panel wooden door to replace the decrepit one that's there.
Okay.
On the south elevation, where we have presently the 19th century double hung windows, we're proposing to put in new double hung windows, pretty much just like these.
Okay.
This is basically the window we'll be using.
But I noticed they seem to be larger than what's there now.
They're, they're a little wider than what's there.
Yeah,
I think it's slightly nicer proportion, in fact.
which is not the proportion of the 18th century windows, but,
No, it's not.
okay.
I suppose we could make those all proportional like the 18th century windows, but that's kind of faking it in a way. We don't know what was here.
No, but, I mean, if you walk around it, you'll see that you would, if you're observant, you might notice the difference. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yes, but there are houses all over the point with all sorts of different kinds of windows there.
Yes.
But the placement of the windows has moved.
Yeah, one's been centered as opposed to, it's
Yeah.
slightly off-center now, yeah.
Yes. And then the east elevation will restore the existing historic gable, two more of these double hung windows here, and a set of French doors leading up to a small deck with no railing.
Well, now there, I can see, since you've got the 18th century window on that facade, you might want to match it with the two flanking windows on the first floor.
Yeah, I think that would be nice.
I think it would be nice, too.
We could do that,
Yeah.
because we'll get plenty of view.
You're getting that out of your doors,
out
yeah,
of the-
your French
so
doors.
We could turn these into replica windows like that.
Yeah,
No, it's-
I think that would be an improvement.
So that's basically the original proposal that I put in. And we have been admiring the house at the top of Hotel Hill Road that's just been recently restored
Mhm,
with a discreet little dormer that's been put on the top of it.
mhm.
And we beg your indulgence to consider whether we might put dormers on both or one of the sides of the house to provide light to the upper part of the space.
I guess my first question, do we have any abutters who have any opinions on this? Do we have any opinions?
I have opinions.
Go ahead.
I have an opinion on that east-facing facade with those French doors, which are completely inappropriate to the
Okay.
historic district.
Okay.
Completely inappropriate.
Okay.
There's never been a doorway like that in the historic district. There was a house much further up the road. Some of you may remember Jane Rose. And she was much further up the road, much further back from the river, and she asked for a single French door from her home to her deck, and it was denied.
Okay.
Well, I would argue that there are any number of doors like that on the river sides of houses in the point.
Do you have photos of them?
I don't believe I do, no.
I would love to see them, because I don't believe there are.
Okay.
Well, there are, I know, we approved one at 2043 a couple of months ago. And I did one on, I can't remember the address, it's on the east side. It was Matt Doyle's house, probably 8 or 10 years ago, where we had French doors.
I'm not familiar with it.
There's sliders now.
The sliders. Well, I don't remember the exact details, but they're large.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
And when did that happen?
Well, that's the point. I mean, there's a lot of places that you can go around the town, you're gonna point in every place else and see things that you would never pass today. That's why you guys are here,
Yeah,
you know? So-
yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think, John?
Okay, wait,
Bill Hunt, 2039 Main. This iconic house is in front of my front windows. I look at this 24/7. And I feel if you buy a historical home in a historical district, you have the obligation to maintain that house and preserve it. I'm not opposed necessarily, I have a couple of questions on the original, but I'm totally opposed to the dormers on the roof. I looked at that, and I do not want to see dormers on that cottage.
okay.
My question on the other is, Are you gonna put an asphalt roof? Are you gonna maintain, I think it has cedar shingles on it now. I'd love to see the cedar shingles remain, and the siding is going to be what?
The siding will be white cedar shingles, as it is now. And the roof will be an asphalt shingle roof.
And, I mean, I've walked around that foundation, and that foundation is pretty solid. I mean, you want to raise it up a foot for flood protection, but you are going to reface it with a similar
With stone, yeah.
look.
Yeah.
So it'll be a foot higher, but it'll look basically
Well,
like.
in fact, we'll bring the grade up, so the
Yeah.
grade will still be only just below
Just-
the bottom of the chin, so there'll only be 8 or 10 inches of stone showing.
Right.
So the grade will be brought up, so it won't be standing up on a high foundation.
And you're going to put a porch on the west,
East side.
East, facing the bridge.
east, facing the river on two sides?
No, just the bridge.
Not a porch, just a.
A deck, a deck,
Just, this is the east side.
Facing the
here.
water.
No roof, just a deck.
Just a deck.
just a deck.
So, as an abutter, I have no problem with phase one, but I totally oppose the dormers in phase one.
Okay. Jeff?
I can't deny knowing this, obviously, 'cause you didn't submit it, so it's kind of a surprise.
Yeah, it is.
But I remember, what was it, 2040, down the Long's house
Mm-hmm.
with their barn,
Mm-hmm.
that he came in and he wanted dormers, and that was disapproved, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
probably for the same reasons. I think I mean, the greatest thing about that house is it's so original. and
It's
so
intact,
cute.
yeah.
It's like a postcard.
It is, we don't have many of those left.
No.
And the windows are original, it's just, you know.
Yeah,
it's-
and I applaud you
it's a
for
gem.
matching the window construction. I've done that actually on my place too, with a couple windows, and it's a wonderful carpentry lesson that
Yes,
it
it
has.
is.
It's beautiful, but I just don't see, I just don't see these, especially on the north side, and on the south side too, because that's what everybody sees. So, I think as far as raising it up, I don't have a real problem with that. I am curious why, just for 1 foot, because you're pretty high up. And I think that it probably, I don't know your reasons, but without knowing those, it probably help your grading issue and your deck issues if you kept it down lower, but whatever. And if you're gonna do it, and you face it with older stone to make it look like it's been there for a while, then that's fine. I would hate to see fresh cut granite, right?
Yeah, no,
Got it.
that's
Okay,
not
thanks.
the, not the intent.
Okay.
Not the intent.
Where is the septic system going? I mean, you obviously need a new one, right?
Yes.
We're likely gonna, it's on the plan, I think, we're gonna combine the septic for 2030 and 2040.
You're gonna put it on the side of this house?
The one where you recommend.
Where I recommend it, on
Yes.
the north side? Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. You're gonna have a little stone,
It's on the, I'm sorry, it's on the south side, I think.
yeah, the south side.
South
Are
side.
you gonna put the stone wall that,
I don't know if we're gonna have a stone wall because we're grading.
yeah,
But to answer your question, Jeff, about why we're raising it, is you know, we had water in that last flood come right up to the foundation.
right up to the edge, yeah.
And, I mean, everyone at Westport Point at some point is gonna have to address climate change and sea level rise. And if we can raise it at least a foot now, we'll take it, and it's not gonna change anything about the look and feel of the house. But years from now, we're all gonna be dealing with this.
Yes,
We're all
I mean, I
gonna-
totally agree with you.
Even your
I
house.
totally agree with, at some point, we're all gonna have to
Do something.
do something about this, and I'm just, at a quandary as to why it's only a foot, and thank God it's only a foot.
We would love to do it more, if we could.
No, thank you.
So that's why.
The grading starts to not work at 2
Right, right, that's what I was thinking.
Your house and this house.
We're trying to be considerate.
No,
of the-
next one.
Well, the reason,
No,
These go together.
yeah.
the reason to do it now is,
He's the expert on windows.
while we're doing all this work in the house, we take a lot of reframing and so forth and so on, and the sills are, I haven't even looked at the sills, but the sills are probably rotten, and so it's gonna need a lot of repair, and it's the opportune time to get a little
Doug cellar or a crawl space?
It's a cellar,
It's a Doug
about
cellar.
5 foot high.
Yeah, you can barely stand up.
I can almost stand up.
I can, but it's pretty short.
So that, will that become a 6-foot cellar?
I don't know yet.
Okay,
You may raise the floor, the cellar floor.
Yeah.
It's a dirt floor right now.
okay, I see, so you're gonna have to put something in
So
there.
just so that you're all clear on, you can see over on the elevation of the east side where
Right.
that's the
It's exposed,
existing.
yeah.
And
Right.
it has that double door there to get into it.
Right,
That other one, that's not even a window, I think. It's
It just
box
blocks off,
in,
yeah,
yeah.
it blocks.
yeah,
And so now they're gonna grade up and
right.
burn
Right,
down.
right.
which
Um,
I think you could do, I think with stone walls, Dave, you might be able to wrap the stone wall around that front and have it so that you might have a little tiny platform at your door, and then you step down onto that and stairs, stone steps going down. I think it could be quite beautiful, but think about that.
We'd be happy to think about that. I think we were flexible in terms of the grading of the wall. We were actually trying to make it as natural as possible.
Yeah,
as
that's
opposed
what
to
I'm thinking too.
Putting a structure in, but the wall.
Yeah, take a look at mine, that's behind that, it's my septic. Lynn did mine too, and I hadn't built that.
Right.
So I think that you can have a similar thing, and actually have it come around on the front, out a little bit.
Well, we talked to Sean Leach about that, who did the site plan,
Yeah.
and he recommended the grading as opposed to a wall because he thought the drop off would be a little too severe, and frankly, that's why
Okay.
he recommended that.
Yeah, those doors on the
So,
side.
the east side doors, yeah, I got it, I had a scheme like that for my kitchen,
mhm.
with full height, with the doors and windows and coming around the corner and opening up the whole corner, floor to ceiling, and I loved it. It's fantastic if you're inside,
Mhm,
but you gotta be outside too. It looks great from the outside, it just doesn't look like Westport.
mhm.
So that's why I didn't submit that. I actually have the drawings, I don't think I even brought them. But I didn't submit that. My wife told me not to, so I didn't. She's
And-
right.
Well, historic commission members?
Well, I agree that the east facade is not appropriate. I mean, you compare what's there now, this beautiful orange lichen on that granite wall, and now a very modern, what's proposed is a very modern-looking sort of suburban porch with French doors. I just don't think it's appropriate. I also wanted to push back on shifting the windows on the south elevation. The existing house has the windows in an asymmetric pattern, which reveals something, I'm not sure what, about how they used the house initially, right? Or about,
They aren't original windows. These were replacement windows. And the
Probably
reason, it was offset, because there's a bathroom there, and there's a toilet at one side and a sink at the other.
So you think the windows were moved from, they've already been moved from their original?
Yes,
They were-
That would be-
yes.
There was a door on the south side originally, there are photographs from the original owners, or the last owner.
There was
showing
a door matching to the north side.
Right, and that was removed and the windows were then
Okay.
slotted in. So what you're seeing on the south side is definitely not original to the house.
Okay, I withdraw my objection then. But I still do think that the east elevation is not appropriate.
No, it doesn't go with the rest of the house. And I don't have a problem with raising it, I don't have a problem with replacing the windows and making them symmetrical. I do have a problem with this view now. I think we need some alternatives to these French doors. And the dormers as well. It is such a little gem of a place, it'd be shame to
Yeah.
put on.
So in view of, I should probably consult with my client, but in view of the comments that we're getting tonight, I think we'd probably like to continue this hearing.
Okay, we'll be happy to do that.
I'd just like to wait. There are plenty of houses around Westport Point with windows like that. And if you'd like us to come back, I'm more than happy to come back with photographs of every one of them. But I don't think this is inappropriate relative to what has already been done all around Westport Point.
Well, one of the places those windows appear is if people do an addition. And, you know, addition might look different from the historical house, but what you're talking about here is taking, what year was the house built?
I don't actually know Dave that, do you know, Dave?
Do you have that somewhere?
1790, 1800?
No,
Sure.
not
Yeah,
that
so
I know.
quite an old house, you know, probably fairly original state, and putting in something that's not appropriate. It might have been done before in Westport Point, it might have been done in an addition, it might have been done before the Historical Commission was active, but in any case, I think it's not appropriate.
Visible only from the river, from some
Jeff.
distance.
That's a,
And you asked the old question, is it incongruous with the other east and west facing elevations on either side of the point? I think, my recommendation to my client is that we do that as a continuation and come back with evidence that we can find of similar kinds of treatments on east and west facing, river facing facades. And some,
Facades of additions, later additions, or facades of
whether
original
they're
houses?
additions
Or original houses? I don't know how many original houses you'll find.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
And we could come back with some evidence about that, and we
Fine.
could come back with some alternative elevations.
No, I think that's fine.
Different fenestration.
But how about the dormers?
Ixnay and the dormers, I think.
I must say, I'm opposed to the dormers.
I don't. Now, one thing, by the way, it may be just an error, the middle drawing doesn't have a chimney. Was that intentional?
That is intentional, yes.
It
So
was
the idea was to
removed.
remove the chimney.
Yeah.
The idea was to remove the chimney.
But you've got it on the next
In
one.
the period between we first talked about this,
Okay.
when we didn't have a hearing. about this,
Yes. And now,
tonight,
yeah.
We've been discussing this, and we talked about adding the doors and putting the chimney back.
Oh,
So
well,
I'd probably come back without the doors, but with the chimney,
Okay,
okay?
yes?
I'd like just to comment. Yes, we bought that, we intend to restore the house, which is why we bought it. And I love that you love looking at it. We love the house as well. But if you've ever been in it, the house is falling apart. It hasn't been touched in probably
That's
60
mine.
years.
I restore homes for a living.
Yes,
If you want to sell that house to me, I'd love to work on it.
it was just for sale not long ago. But the point is, we intend to restore the house. I am actually fine with cedar shakes on the roof. Completely fine putting the money into that, even though they don't last as long. These days are 20-year life, right? Fine restoring all the windows. We're fine doing all the cedar on the siding, the original foundation. We want it to look as original as it can be, but in terms of the east, there's one door on this property. It's not practical at all, and we don't think it's in any way incongruent to the rest of Westport Point to have.
There are
this
two
door.
doors.
Sorry?
There are two doors. There's a west door and a north door.
The north door is not really practical. It's right on the common way. It's about access,
That's
Mr.
sure.
Lawrence. so-
But if you did a walkway from the west, you could get there. I mean, there are ways to do it, yeah.
The point is, we're trying to balance
Yeah.
restoration, we're trying to balance being really good stewards, investing a lot of money in this property because it needs it. And what we're asking for is a little bit of leeway on the east-facing side to make this more practical.
How far are you from the river, just out of curiosity? How
Jeff,
many,
what do you think?
on the
50
plot?
feet,
Pretty close to
50
the-
feet.
50 feet, that's all?
25 maybe?
No, that's not very
I think Kit's idea of, coming back with some alternative plans and, the argument about showing some evidence is one argument, but I think coming back with some alternatives as well.
So you
maybe-
requested a
What
continuance?
if we put an addition on the east side? Well, of course.
and open up another can of worms.
Don't go there. Yes, Jeff.
Yeah, we do that.
So two things. One is, I don't know if it works with your plan at all, but on that south side, with those 5 windows, I wouldn't mind even seeing 2 windows and a door in the center on that one. It might give you access to that outside terrace. I don't know if it works with your plan or not, take it.
Well,
It's not
it makes it more
necessary.
complicated from an interior, it's a very
Okay,
small
okay.
space. It just makes it more
Yeah.
complicated, so. We thought about putting the original door back there, that was taken out in the 60s, but Jeff, it makes the,
Let me ask a question. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
One thing I'll say is that ever since I've met Dave, and that's been a very short period of time when he bought the house, and we met shortly thereafter, he has been talking about restoration with a honest intent. Of really-
We do appreciate that.
So I just want to make that clear to everybody that that's not just him saying it now.
Right.
He's been saying that from the beginning.
Right.
So I have to trust him on that.
I just had a question that maybe for everybody who objects to the east elevation now. Would it be appropriate to have a door a single door in the middle of the east elevation? Or should the door always be offset? I mean, just in terms of being historically accurate, how do people feel about that, if I'm making sense? Offset the way it is on the west elevation. Am I?
I mean, a mirror of, like an opposite.
Yeah, you can, so that it would look like
Yeah.
that instead of, because
It
I
would be
don't think
over
the door
here.
in the center really makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm
not on the
not sure it
side,
does. Am I making sense here? This makes sense. A door in the center probably wouldn't. Am I?
Yeah.
Just, okay.
What were you saying? I'm sorry, what did you say?
On the,
I can show
The
you.
door on the east, the same as the west.
Basically, yeah, make the east the same as the west.
They were built
Because
in an
you,
era
putting a
before
door
they
in the
had
center
windows.
really wouldn't make sense historically. I'm thinking what's historically appropriate. Right? It would have to be
In
offset.
this instance, obviously the formal end.
But but you don't do that on the gable end necessarily. Even when you cut, when the gable end's facing the street, the door's always on one side or the other. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud again.
Yeah, I think the
But
one
are you
up
thinking of
from,
it on this side or this side? It doesn't matter.
Right, doesn't matter, doesn't matter.
It's just
This
a
is
gable end
before they
door.
wanted grand vistas.
Yes, I understand.
Seems like
concerned
there
about
are some
heat.
precedents that make
Okay.
sense for that type of.
Do we have a motion to accept the request for continuance?
So moved.
I
Well,
second.
what would the date of the continuance be?
Can we make it, do we have time to notice everybody? Damn.
It would
Is
be,
it continuance? need to
No,
be
not for June
notified?
1st.
I don't have my phone.
I'm not sure continuance needs to be notified.
Oh, because it's a
It's
continuance.
continuance, and everybody who was concerned is here tonight to hear that it's being continued.
No, you hope they are, but not necessarily.
But I
Um,
think they will need, the abutters will need notices that it's being continued.
Can you
Yeah.
go to June or do you have to go to
Do you
July?
have the rules and regs with you?
Yeah.
I think we could just continue it to the next meeting, I'm not positive.
But
But
typically meetings are.
usually it's not from a
apart.
special meeting, so
This
you
is
got a
special
month and you've
meeting.
got time to notice people.
I think you can continue it to your June meeting,
Yeah, okay.
I think.
When is the
No, I don't have the
June
rules and regs here, that's not
Won't be
them.
enough time to give people notice.
I don't have them with me.
Yeah, just go to the town website and check.
I think we can do it. Because everybody's here, we'll get notice with the agenda. It'll go in the neighborhood association distribution list.
Well, are all the abutters here now? Because that's hereby notified.
Are any butters missing right now?
Yeah, Betty and Dave.
Betty and Dave, they had to go to the airport today.
They called me.
I will personally call them and
And
notify.
then everybody's notified.
And then everybody knows.
Well, and.
Be careful, she is a stickler.
Are we
notifying,
Yeah, I'd rather get
Is
it.
interested.
Shorelines?
It was not here.
Huh?
Is that an abutter that's not here?
Yeah,
Well,
no, Shoreline's the newspaper. That's.
oh. No. And the idea is they will come back with precedent?
I'll tell you what, I'll look at the rules and regulations. If we cannot continue it to June, we'll continue it to July. Because if the rules and regulations don't allow us to do it, we can't do anything the rules and regulations don't allow us to do, period.
But if you can find a way, then
If we can find a way, we would like to continue it to June.
Well, why don't you continue on, I'm looking at.
Okay, if you can find it, that would be great.
What is the date? June what?
What is it, 5th? I think it's the 5th. Hold on, let me look. Got it here somewhere.
June 5th,
Yeah,
5th or 6th?
5th.
5th, 5. Okay.
I think conceivably, I mean, I can get letters out in that time.
You,
Send them tomorrow.
okay. So if you get letters out tomorrow, well, check, make sure the regs make it possible, but yes, I think that's where we're going.
Now,
It, you know, it may not
are
be
we-
covered in the regs, because this is a
What
pretty,
is the agenda of the continuance? Just the east elevation or?
no, it's the entire,
The
application.
entire plan?
Yeah. I mean, it's a revised application. It's to revise the application, basically. Yeah.
Can you at least, are we gonna have to come back and talk about elevation again?
No,
No.
I mean, let's put it this way. We've all told you that elevation is not an issue.
Right.
We haven't voted on it, so until things get voted on, nothing is set in anything. But we've all told you it's not an issue. And your butters don't seem to feel it's an issue either. So
So it's great, so it's the windows and the dormer, is that what we're gonna?
I think it's the east elevation and the dormers.
Oh, and maybe the chimney. It comes, it goes. It's back.
Oh,
It says the continuation. The commission itself may continue a public hearing to another date if the new date meets the time limits imposed by the commission bylaw.
Time limits.
mhm. Well, in that case, we can't do it.
Well, I can't count. How many days do we have?
Well, it's
Not
already the.
Not
Not
enough,
enough?
not enough. Okay, so we will have
13
to,
days from now.
Hmm?
It's 13 days from now, the June meeting.
no,
Can't do
doesn't work.
I mean,
So we have to continue it to July, I'm afraid.
furthermore, anything that gets posted goes to Providence, so
Yeah. Okay,
even if it's July, yeah.
it's good to know. Thank you, Sharon. That was helpful. And now we don't have to go double back on ourselves.
So
Okay.
continue till July meeting.
The July meeting.
Yep. Okay.
Which would
And
be-
that, in fact, that'll be the case in anything we continue tonight, but just so we know.
Signed and dated by me.
Is the July meeting
Are we
also
done
on
with
the
2040 for now?
Pieces of the sheets that you do
So it'll be
have
July, what, third?
signed.
Is that a long
When is our
weekend or
meeting in
is it
July?
10th?
Okay.
July, it's
So
the
just
first
stick right
Monday,
into the
yeah.
package.
First Monday is the 3rd,
Yeah.
which is the 4th of July weekend, but, you know, we'll be around.
No, it's going to be July 10th.
10th, okay, that's what I thought.
Because that falls, the 4th of July gets in the way, so it's July 10th.
Yeah, I think we've got to keep going.
How many days do you need? to advertise?
No, that's July. June is the 5th, sorry.
No, I mean, how many days do you have?
You mean for notice?
What is it, 3 weeks?
15 days, I think
Thank you.
it's,
Wow, these are.
I'm just wondering if you could.
How many days do we need?
small.
I know.
I think it's 15.
Magnifying.
50, yeah, it's 15 15 days.
I'm not on the committee.
Right.
Just making a suggestion that might move it along a little. Could you, since the July one is a week later than it normally is, can you make the June one week later also?
Let me have
And
this
then-
back.
And then he would be able to fit in.
Wow. Now, there's a thought. In other words,
Make it the.
Change the
12th.
date.
change the scheduled meeting. Yeah, why not? Anybody,
I have no issue with that.
did anybody have an issue with
I
that?
didn't really hear what was proposed.
Can we're going to make our June meeting a week later than it ordinarily would be.
Which would,
Then we make the dates.
Yeah, okay, do I hear a motion to that effect?
so it's going to be the 13th? What is
I
it?
think it's the 12th.
12th.
12.
All right, I move
And
to
that
move,
doesn't
I move to
contradict-
move the June meeting to June
Maybe we
12th.
should check and make sure that that's,
Yeah, doesn't that
That's
contradict
kosher.
the-
That, there's no reason we can't change the meeting date.
so we need,
That was a good suggestion, thank you.
Right.
Can you,
Huh?
can you just do that?
Yes, we can just do that. So the June meeting is now going to be June 12th.
to sign one more.
Yeah, one more. Right.
Do we have that motion? I heard a motion.
I
Did I
moved
hear a
yes.
second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So
All opposed?
Nay.
One opposed. Are you, okay. Any abstentions? No, good.
6/13 is the date?
612.
12.
So 612. Okay. Okay, what is this? The next, what am I looking at here?
Just sign your name.
Ah. Is this enough? Have we got enough here?
Yes, we need,
Oh, here.
we've got 4, don't we?
That'll make it 4.
Actually, we're only 3. We need,
She doesn't need it. Okay. Okay.
here, have you seen this one?
So this is 2038 Lake Road,
Mm-hmm.
where we have an existing antique house with a 20th century addition on the back of it, which we propose to demolish.
Mm-hmm.
And you have here the elevations of the existing house as it stands right now. It's back it's taken off, these pieces here, and these pieces here. Taken off,
No, you gotta keep going.
and we put on a
I
new
didn't sign
addition,
anything else on the other one.
which
Oh,
is a
You have them all
two-story
back. I have to sign every
addition,
page.
30 feet back from the back of the house.
there are the plans.
It's somewhat narrower than the house, so its peak will not be as high as the peak of the main house. You can see that here. And in addition, and when we look at this on a preliminary basis, I had this as one continuous wall all the way back here, and suggested that that might be broken up. And we talked about doing a breakup, this little shed element all the way up along the length of the back, but it proved to be more space than we needed, so we went halfway with it. And then to the south, off this two-story addition, was a sort of story and a quarter family room space brought to the south. And this is pretty much what we looked at back at the preliminary. All the materials and details will match the existing house. As we discussed last time, we proposed it has this odd configuration of windows, and we proposed to make it a little bit more regular by adding a third set of windows. And it would mean moving two of the original and making two new replica windows to match the rest of the wall.
These are the original windows?
These are the original windows, yes.
And what year is the house?
Well, okay, I was just noticing that on the new, somehow the existing windows got narrower, which I don't think can happen.
What,
No. They are. Maybe the one, okay, maybe I'm not looking at it right, but,
12 over 12.
they're 6/9,
This one, Ken, is that?
excuse me, 8/12 and 12.
no, I'm not talking about how many lights, I'm talking the actual width of the windows. It looks like they are narrower windows, but maybe I'm not, no, okay, okay.
They're just,
These are
it's probably based on.
Okay, very good.
As on the other sides of the house, there are presently not very good 19th century 6/6 double hung windows. And we're proposing to replace those with, again, this kind of a clad pella window, detailed to hide this business. And
Same opening.
same thing, yes. And then on the On the addition to the back, again, we'll use this same size window, the same type of window. They're all scheduled out on the drawings. There's no big door on the back. We've got some triple windows, but again, this is an addition. And that's as far as we want to go for improving the views from the back of the house, which basically looks at the other house. And we want to put in a bulkhead, because this whole addition to the back will have a new foundation underneath it. We'd like to have a bulkhead at the back, which would not be visible, I think, anywhere in the public way.
Now, what's the difference in square footage between the existing addition and the proposed new addition?
Well,
About 600 square feet.
depends on whether you talk about footprint or habitable space. So in footprint, the ground that it covers, the existing covers 1,198 square feet, and the new will cover 1,654 square feet, which is a 38% increase.
No, that's the footprint, but
That's the footprint.
square footage, because
So
you've got a
the
whole second
habitable-
floor.
The habitable
Habitable space, yeah.
habitable square
That-
footage.
That's, yeah.
The habitable square footage, gross living area, the existing is 2,028 square feet, and the proposed is 2,954 square feet for a 46% increase.
Big increase.
And that's because of the elevation.
Yeah, it's because it goes back, there's no, the other one drops down, this one doesn't.
And it's going to be asphalt.
The roof, yes, but the commission has no,
I am well aware of it.
and there are very few wood roofs left in the port.
I'm just putting one in.
Yeah, well, oh, you are, well, good.
Very few what left?
Wood roofs left in the port. And I suppose, David and Lauren might be interested in putting a wood roof on this house, I don't know.
Okay, well, first I'll ask for comments from abutters.
Where do we begin?
Well, that's,
I'm repeating what I said before. You buy a historical home in a historical district, you have an obligation to maintain and preserve what is there. That house has a perfect setback with a second setback. The view from the bridge is iconic, and now we're building a dormitory. And I guess you're all after more square footage. That's gotta be what you're doing. But I don't think it's in keeping with the charm of that beautiful little house.
This is going to be so tight going that one shared driveway. You can have this monstrosity of a house.
On the north side, yeah.
Well, it's tight, it's even tighter now on the north side. It's only set back about 8 inches. I'm set back, you're set back a foot.
But you're going back how much further?
I'm going back 30 feet, which is.
with 2 stories instead of stepping down to 1 story, basically.
Going back about 8 feet. That's what I thought.
Jeff?
So, I took some pictures, I'll show them to you guys. Now, I drew in a perspective of what that would be going down that laneway, but it was based on before they set it back this little bit. So my perspective is if this was continued down to here, so it's a little bit different, but not appreciably. So this is what you would see from the road,
Wow.
and this is what you'd see from my yard.
Oh, my God.
So
Oh, wow.
I think it's a little bit big.
Did you want to see these guys?
You know, we went through the same thing with the Carter's house.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, you can, that'd be great. Yeah. Again, it's a little bit off because of the
This is what you
distance,
see
but
from the road,
not a
this
lot.
is what you see.
Right, it actually steps back a couple of feet, halfway,
Yeah.
but I,
So, well, no, the part that steps back is only the first.
I know,
mean,
the first
sticks
floor.
out as the
Yeah,
first
yeah, yeah.
floor. It's like a little shed on it. But if you remember, we went through the same thing with the Carters, next door neighbors, and with Greg, and that started out very similar, you know, as high as the other building, and then it went down and down until you got it to where it was comfortable. And the argument then was that, as Bill said, you have a main house, and then things are supposed to telescope down and be subordinate to the main old house, which this is not.
It's not?
No.
Seems
Not
to
at
me
all.
it is.
No, you're
Not
going
like
Not with
Steps
roof
down,
on.
it steps
what's the
back.
square footage of the main house?
The existing main house?
Habitable square footage, yeah.
2028.
Habitable square footage is, so this is the main house.
2028.
2028, right?
Is 2028.
Okay, and this is
2954.
29 something, so it's
46%.
bigger than the main house by,
Well, no, I don't think we're talking about the same
No,
thing.
it's 46%.
46%.
2028 is the existing square footage of the entire house, not just, are you talking
oh, and
about
the
the main?
29 is not the,
That's a good.
29 I
that's a
thought
good
was just the
calculation to
addition.
make.
When you say the main house, do you mean just,
The existing historic house,
The
the
original,
entire existing house?
yes, 2022.
Okay, the entire existing house, yeah, that's 2,028
28.
square feet.
And the entire new addition will be
2954.
29, so it's gonna be,
No, the addition is not 2.
oh, what is the
No, the
addition?
whole-
That's total totality of the house
Oh, the total,
with the addition.
Okay, so total to total is 2028 to 2954.
Yes.
What is the original house before any other additions?
All right, that's also on the charts. The existing to remain.
right,
Gross living area.
that's what we're trying to compare.
1358.
1358, so if we're
1358.
at 29, then the addition is going to be larger than the existing historic house.
Yeah, what's the addition?
Significantly bigger.
The addition
Well,
square footage.
there's, sorry, may I?
Yeah.
That's not quite right.
No?
Please, we're not trying to build a dormitory, first of all. We're your neighbors, so language like that is incredibly helpful.
Well, and,
May-
pardon me,
may-
but
may
it
I-
looks
may I?
Oh,
Thank you. The addition that we're removing was built in 1980 or 1990. So we're not removing anything that's in any way historical.
No, we're not concerned with what you're removing and what you're, and replacing it.
Right.
But,
So the house as it currently stands with the existing additions is about 2,200 square feet.
right, and so you're adding 700 square feet on top of that.
According to this, it's 2,028 square feet.
800.
Closer to 2,000 square feet, according to the.
Oh, 2028, so you're adding 900 square feet to
The
that.
town record says it's 22.
Okay.
Okay, regardless, 2,000, 2,200, whatever we want to say it is. The main point is, the house as it currently stands with the current additions is in the lower quartile of houses on Westport Point in terms of size. The Hunt's house is, what, roughly 4,000 feet?
44.
4,400,
But it
right?
was an inn. It was a dormitory.
Okay, we're not trying to build a dormitory. So my point is, the house is currently in the lower quartile from a size point of view at 2,200 square feet.
Now,
Even at
you're also
2,900
gonna have use of 2040, right?
It's a different property, it's a different.
Excuse me, but you're talking about square footage you can use.
May I finish
Okay,
the point?
yeah, yeah.
So all I'm trying to say is at 2,900 square feet, okay, the house is roughly in line with the median and average of the top 20 homes down on the point, all the way from the inn outward. 20 homes on the point, the median is around 2,800.
If you throw in a couple of inns, that's gonna be the case. The Packwoodchuck is big,
The inn
his house is
driving- The inn
big.
is driving the average, not the median.
Yeah, okay.
But in fairness, what we're trying to say is 2,900 square feet is not out of form with houses on Westport Point.
But it's not houses on Westport Point, it's your
Visually,
house.
yeah.
It's your house.
Well,
It's not, we're not comparing it to houses on Westport Point, we're comparing it to what's there now.
When we were here for the previous two informal hearings,
Yeah?
we talked about this addition.
You did talk about this addition,
Showed you
I
plans.
didn't
And
see
we haven't
this.
changed a whole lot here relative
I
to
didn't s-
prior to.
I think we expressed.
We
the
saw
feeling that-
massing, we didn't see, it was conceptual, it wasn't, I didn't see this.
And I know at least some of us felt and communicated to you at that meeting that the preliminary design was too large.
You know, what you didn't like the dormers, we eliminated the dormers. You suggested that we move part of the addition south to the south side, and we've done that. We've taken all of your feedback, is the point.
I think one of the problems that I have is that, you know, there were dormers before, and they got rid of them, and they just made a whole two-story building.
Right.
So massing-wise, that's even worse. From what I believe we were trying to suggest.
Hold on.
But
Can you,
That's what you suggested to us, was to do a full two-story addition.
a full two-story building, but I didn't say build it back 60 feet or whatever it is, 40 feet, 50, 70 feet, 70 feet. I didn't say build it back 70
It's
feet.
not 70 feet, it's 30 feet.
It's
Well,
7 feet.
7
Sorry.
feet, no.
Sorry, facts are important. We're moving it back 7 feet from the existing foundation. Okay? 7.
Okay, 7 feet plus the wing coming to the south, plus the wing coming to the south, plus the bump out on the north, correct? I mean, this is substantially bigger, any way you look at it.
it's 30 feet.
It's 30
from
feet.
the old building to the end of the new building.
No, but Jeff, I'm talking about
No, I know.
incremental.
Yeah,
You have 7 feet, no, he's
Let's
right.
not confuse
He has
the
7
two.
feet,
Yeah.
I'm answering his question,
Yeah,
for what the overall is from the existing the original building,
Mhm.
from that, back of that to the back of this proposal is 30 feet. They are only adding 7 feet, but the overall is 30 feet.
Sharon, could you move so that I can see the existing a little
When we
better?
were here last time, Jeff, you may recall, you told us you didn't care how far back we went. So I'm not sure why that's even a point of discussion.
I
You can
care,
tell us
well,
that.
I care about mass and relative size compared to what else you have. I think some of the beauty of Westport is, and if you look at any of them, I mean, even look at Leo Marshall's, now that was a little bit even beyond what anybody would really like, but even that one steps back, telescopes back. You don't have it as high as the main building in front, because it has to be subordinate to it, and it's definitely not. And then there's some articulation there of different steps. I think what was there to begin with is probably more architectural for this area than this. So, I mean, this is a big wall there, kid, going down that
May I,
area.
I went up and down the point today.
That's not the point. There are large homes, and then there are small homes, and your home is your home, and that's the one you
So
have to preserve.
this was a good example. This addition, this is on the corner of Valentine Lane. This addition, which is flush with the gable end of the main house, goes back 40 feet.
And that is a dormitory. But it just changes the whole configuration of the house.
This is
The house-
this is Leo Marshall's house that Jeff was just talking about. All the houses on the point, as many of you know, I was on the historical commission. Our mantra was always in and down, in and down. You see how this steps in and down, in and down, in and down, in and down, in and down.
So this steps in and down as well.
This is just another view of the same thing.
It doesn't, the roof line doesn't step
It
down.
does step down.
This is across
The
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 street.
roof line goes straight back.
In and down.
It steps down from here to here.
No, but
No, it doesn't.
it doesn't step
In
again.
and down.
It doesn't
step.
step,
Steps again at the right angle.
that's a different wing. You've got, that's an additional wing.
We never.
As we come down Main Road, we see a wall of asphalt.
Do you hear what I'm saying here? We never see anything like this jutting out.
I know, but, you know, quite conceptually, I did,
These,
yeah.
Just never get it.
There, I can cite examples where that does happen.
I think it does happen occasionally, and I conceptually, I have less problem with that wing than with the massing, the massing of the thing.
can I just say one other thing?
Yeah.
When the previous owner built that addition,
Mhm.
when you're standing in that room, the way he placed the windows, so when you look out at the river and the bridge through either of those windows, you do not see the cottage. They were so perfectly placed that it was just a beautiful design that, so the cottage didn't interrupt your view to the river.
We'd like to see the cottage. I mean, it's a pretty structured.
So I go back to the language in chapter 40C. It
Mhm.
says that something, if it's full of double negatives, says that the commission shall not deny anything that is not incongruous with the rest of the district. And if you look at this on the basis of congruity, which Bill, who's not here tonight,
Mhm.
mentioned this at one of our meetings before,
Mhm.
is a question of someone coming down the street and seeing something and saying to themselves, wow, what's that doing here? How did that happen?
Mhm.
And I would maintain that no one coming down the street with all the other configurations of houses all up and down the street would say to themselves, wow, how did that happen? That looks weird. And it's not incongruous.
If it's not incongruous to the house, to the point, and to the historic district. That's what the language says.
That's what the language says.
Pictures
If it's
again.
not incongruous
These pictures speak a lot.
to the house itself,
the ones on
which
the
this
end.
definitely is.
You see
The
ones
Jeff,
that
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
Jeff's.
That Jeff
The
had
pictures
the,
that Jeff
Oh.
drew
The
on,
massing comparison.
talk about people coming down the
That's not it, that's not it, that's not it.
Kid, have you seen what Jeff drew? You might want to take a look
Yes,
at that.
I've seen it already.
You were like,
It was given away to someone who wanted to see it.
They come our way, I don't know.
took it back there for us.
Well, I could probably
should
find
submit that.
a way to step this down halfway through here, another
It's
18
very
inches or something like that.
that's incongruous.
I can't, I'm not seeing it, but I'm not sure where you're doing it or when you're doing it.
Because it goes in.
Just
and
lower
notice
the
it
ceiling,
just
I think.
steps in and down.
No.
This
You
is
know,
so,
I
so
mean-
Westport Point.
Yeah,
This is actually quite nice.
I feel uncomfortable suggesting things because you're a good architect and I don't want to put in on it. But some of the beauty of Westport is the quaintness of the environment, of the buildings, and also of the interiors, what it looks like inside. You come, to me and to a lot of people that I know, to have a bedroom in the second floor that is just this big room with a flat ceiling going over the walls, you can get in any town in the world. When you start getting some of these beautiful
Eaves.
eaves and even dormers cut into it to give you some play, Bill just finished a house that he tore out the ceilings to be able to expose that, and it made the place. It's just absolutely gorgeous. He did a great job. So things like that, I
It's
think.
not a flat ceiling. It'll be.
But I think you can still get that kind of feeling, even if it drops down. I mean, for instance,
You could
Rob's
dro-
house in his living room is totally out of scale, right? It's that huge gable open. It's just mammoth. And I think that you can make things a lot more quaint and everything. And the outcome, the only reason I'm bringing up the inside, is that outside it has an effect. It
Yes.
starts to drop that roof down even more.
Right.
And then you can still get quite a bit of space in there, enough to fit a bedroom and a bathroom and closets, but, it's not gonna be obviously as big as you can get to the edge as much.
I'm going to go back one step, Kit. Yes, it would make a difference to drop it down 18 inches.
Okay.
Step it down 18 inches. Would it be sufficient? I can't tell you, I can't speak for everyone here, and we'd have to see it. But yes, it would make a difference.
Okay.
So that's item number one.
I don't know how you're gonna.
But item number two,
My inclination would have been to do something like that.
okay, good.
Except that
It was all those dormers everywhere. It was really fussy
And
anyway,
a
but,
preliminary hearing is not a design
No,
meeting.
I-
I mean, it's not our job,
Yeah.
to come up with something that's congruous with the existing house.
What I heard was that you wanted something like that, a two-story straight-back addition.
well,
Well,
okay.
that's a
Now-
miscommunication of.
And that's what I heard, and that's what
But I think there's another issue on the table here. And the other issue is the stepping back an additional 7 feet. Because you're also already going wider because you're putting that bump out to the south. And going back another 7 feet is changing the scale significantly. Are
We were
we?
told last time,
Uh-huh,
including by our neighbor Jeff, who we think highly of,
uh-huh.
that there was absolutely no concern about going back as quote as far as we wanted. And
I didn't say go back as far as you wanted. I never said
We've
that.
only gone back 7 feet, and that's not different from what we showed
So,
you last.
so let me clarify what I said, because it's a little bit of both. Obviously, I care if it goes all the way back to the
Well,
old
so
building, which you
within
said.
reason, if you know
Yeah.
that's not the intent of
But you
it.
said 7 feet. I don't think that the 7 feet's the issue,
Uh-huh.
personally.
Okay,
I think that if they were to take that, and again, a telescoping, if you pull out a telescope, you know, one of those.
yeah, drop the roof line, drop the roof line.
And sides,
Yeah,
tops.
and sides,
Like it
okay.
already has.
And if you could
Uh-huh.
do that on
Uh-huh,
this
okay.
significantly, then you've got something at least a little bit better. But I think that it can't be one continuous, I mean, it can be whatever you want it, but you think you can have it pass, but I would try to step the roof down too. I would break it up a little bit, give it a little more articulation.
Mhm.
I mean, this is,
Absolutely.
this isn't something that we just want to throw out there on the first try. You got
Well, I
to.
mean,
I know.
the first presentation was over-articulated, and this one's under-articulated.
Yeah,
So we need to find out
right,
what we need.
right. There's somewhere between monolith and fuss.
Okay.
Okay,
Is that a
Yeah.
design term?
I think there's also, I mean, there's no denying that you're increasing the footprint by almost 50%, increasing the building volume by almost 50%.
Closer to 40%.
Well, I'm looking at,
Based on the 2,200, it's a
40%,
40% increase in the.
yeah, yeah.
well, I'm just looking at the numbers you've given us, and it's,
The numbers
That's
that
not
you,
including the.
the numbers that he calculates are the numbers that are comparable.
Right.
So you calculated the existing and you calculated the new, so that's the difference,
Yes.
no matter what.
Right.
it's what's on your plans.
Okay,
Let me speak to my client.
please.
I'd like to, again, I'd like to spend, can we take a break and talk?
Yeah, please.
You want to talk to?
Now, while you're, no, we'll wait.
It's about the front facade.
I can't hear you.
The front facade, I love the quirky arrangement of the windows, and I think to even it out and make it look the same as every other house on the street, again, we're gonna lose that flavor of.
But in terms of making it appropriate to every other house on the street and to itself, because apparently the frames, those windows were moved at some point later from the original date.
Well, look at Colin's
So-
house. Every window in that.
No, I know, but,
is a
but,
different size.
but,
and it-
but on your house, they're not. I mean, so it just depends. It just depends. So, I mean, but that's what our judgment has to be. Is it appropriate to the other houses? Yes,
Room that could fit.
yes.
It's just so pretty.
Yeah.
I think the west facade is improved.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Well, I think what Jeff did is.
This was really helpful.
shocking.
Yeah, it's very, the massing is
Yeah.
enormous.
The mass of that roof line.
I mean, that one that is showing about, that's dormitory. I mean,
Yeah,
It
it's
is,
not a good
it's literally a
precedent.
dormitory.
Buildings I've seen.
Yes.
Just because it's been built doesn't mean it's good.
Well, that's the other thing, is that there's a lot of stuff that was built before this commission.
Right, well, no, if you can, the idea is not that you can find one example of someone who did
That's why
something
that
horrific
argument is
before the
a little
commission
specious,
existed.
because you
The-
can't
The
say, well,
idea is that
It's
is it
been done
appropriate
already,
generally?
You know,
Right.
there's a lot of.
What was the proposal on these windows on the west side?
What?
Well, look at the
additional ones, Are
original.
they gonna be mahogany, are they gonna be?
They're gonna be the same.
Yes,
the
they-
same,
Exactly.
he's gonna build it.
They're gonna build them from scratch, basically.
Like a Boston sash?
Yes, yes. They'll be good windows. That's not a problem.
Harvard Lampoon.
Do we have other, I guess we shouldn't do anything
Windward
till they return.
Way, the garage.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's, we can't
We
get to
never
that
did
yet.
get an answer, though, on addition to addition. You know, what was the original size of the addition compared to the new?
You've got
size
it
of
there.
the-
You've got it in the
No
Yeah,
plans,
it's
right?
so the original house,
No, the original
The original
edition
house had
versus the new edition.
1358
I've got big
The,
plans.
the square
But what was
footage of
the
the original edition,
addition?
not the footprint.
of
Well,
the
the-
original house.
well, it would have been the difference between 2028 and 1358. So 470 feet.
So it's only, wow.
So the original was
that's-
470, and what's the size of the new addition?
Oh my God, that's enormous.
The new
like three
addition is
times the-
1,600, around 1,600.
So it's going from 400 to 1,600.
Quadruple the existing.
That comparison is enormous.
Wait a minute, that can't be right. Is it right? Well, thank you. Let me look at that.
It's there.
Because
So the
the
existing
house
original is
they're improving-
13,
they're improving had additions
where are we
put
now?
on it. You
Pardon?
understand?
Footprint,
The
I
house
don't
that
want
they're
footprint,
improving,
gross living
the
area.
house that they're improving had additions.
yes.
So if we could know what that square footage was of the so-called original additions.
Yeah, so let me back up. So I think it's 660 square feet was the original
If that's the
addition.
case, then this is even worse than I thought.
This is 2.5 times.
It's 2.5 times or more.
You want a big one?
No, that's a really big statistic.
Okay.
Is there a prohibition in terms of how, what the percentage increase could be in any addition?
New
I
total.
don't think there's any.
There's no prohibition on that.
Let me get my calculator out. Wait, where's my phone?
Right here, John.
Okay, 1358, okay, yeah. So
Panic for a minute.
I know, it's panicking.
670 was the original
Right,
addition.
that's really a big statistic. If this is the addition, 9,
Plus
square footage was 1358 plus.
Math seems wrong because
2255.
It seems off. Then this
2255.
was
You have the proposed
2028,
addition
and
is
a new one would be
897 square feet.
2954. Then we're going from.
The existing to remain is
original addition was
1,358 square
660,
feet.
Oh, wait a minute.
and the new one
So
would
that
be,
would get to about
Okay,
2,200.
subtracting
that's
that
not here.
from
Here's
that
what
would
I'm
be
doing wrong.
954,
Okay, hold on, I'm
I
gonna
think.
do this
I think that
again.
would be the
But
difference.
your total is
The-
2,900.
The
It's 1.5 times.
2028,
That's fine.
2028 minus 1358
That's right, 1358.
equals 670. This is presumably the existing addition is 670. So the existing addition is 670.
670,
So the new, so but how,
670, and that gets you to the 2028.
this doesn't, the numbers don't add
That
up.
means that it's 1358 plus
How do
670
the
is
numbers add up?
2028.
The numbers don't add up.
1358 plus 670 is
So
2028.
we're not even dealing apples and apples here. We have no idea.
You know, I'm confident that the total square footage, living square footage of the house at 2,900 square feet is correct.
That's the new one.
Yeah, so
But we're not confident what existing is to remain
the
or
the number
anything
that's
else.
wrong, Rudd, the number that's wrong is the one in column 3, row 2, 897 square
That's the
feet.
number.
That's
Yeah.
incorrect. That should be 1,600 square feet, roughly.
1,600 square feet. Okay.
I think that must have been the number that you were adding to the total package.
Yeah, okay. So in that case, the addition is going from 670 square feet to 1,600 square feet, just so to put everything in proportion,
I don't even want to answer that question right now
until you look at it yourself. Please do. Yeah.
So, what Mr. Giacos and I have discussed in the hallway is
Yes.
that
It's 2.5
we would
times.
like to know what of this proposal you can approve and what you would need to have changed for us to come back for a continued hearing.
Okay. Can we,
Well, so one thing that came up was the windows on the, I guess, the west facade.
Facade.
I'm okay with
west
those.
facade? No.
Yes, the west,
Yeah,
West facade.
west facade.
No, I'm talking about the
Adding the
windows,
extra
just
row.
on the
Two windows.
old part of the house, not the little wing that's sticking
On
out.
Main Road.
Yeah, on Main Road.
Okay, okay, you're saying that can stay?
Yes.
That's, we
Well,
would
there was-
approve,
there
we
was
would
some-
approve
Some
that.
discussion here,
Yeah.
from an abutter, at least about whether or not, the change in the windows in the front is okay. It's okay with me.
It's okay with me.
It's okay with me.
Yeah, I agree with that too. That's like the original house would have been.
I go on record, I approve that.
Okay,
Go ahead.
go, that's fine.
So that's
So-
one that can stay.
How about our general approach to the kinds of windows we want to use on the rest of the house?
Yeah, you're using appropriate windows.
Um,
I think we can,
Yeah, we're good with that.
So you'd like to see more articulation in the masses, Is that correct?
Mhm.
Telescoping.
Yeah, I
Which
think
is,
that's
I
a
think
good
that's the
word.
articulation, telescoping is the same thing in different
Telescoping,
terms.
articulation.
I mean, it's,
Yeah.
there's articulation.
In and down. I think you said in and
What's the
down, in
jeopardy?
and down.
In
That
and
was
down.
More
the,
articulation. in
the
this.
mantra was in and down
Mhm.
on these
Kind of like it
various,
is now. Just saying,
to get that rhythm back of what it,
yeah.
Yeah, to me, what's there now looks congruous with the original house.
What's there now?
What you had now, with the 90 degrees out to the side, how much square footage would you have?
Well, that's roughly 18 by 15.
You're gonna block my view of the cottage, but
But you don't care,
that's not.
do you?
So you mean make a L out of it?
well, he's got a bump out coming out on the south side, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you telescope, but then you still bump that way, you're gonna add, would you say that's about 500 square feet, something like that? No, not that much.
No, it's
About 100 square feet?
It's about 15 by 18, 180, 270 square feet.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the
Times two, right? Is it about 2 stories?
No, that's a vaulted
Oh,
ceiling.
that's a-
That's a vaulted ceiling.
Got it.
What else do you see change?
Well,
Why don't you make a model of some things like you did before? It's just, you know,
I don't have a problem personally with the south bump out.
Actually, I don't either, really.
I mean, you know, but I don't know how everybody else feels.
It's very uncharacteristic of the point. I mean, you just don't see things like that.
My reaction almost isn't necessary. You know, I'm sure it
Well-
makes the family room 5 feet bigger, but
No, it gives them views of the sunset and the water around the cottage. I know exactly why it's there. I mean,
sunsets from the living room, from the
Uh-huh.
front of the house, yeah.
well, they can go out on the lawn and look at the sunset.
yeah,
I'm right here. I'm right here.
yeah.
In fact, you can't, from the living room, see the wall. It's blocked by the stair and this little space here.
Would it make sense to suggest they meet with the neighbors and try to come up with a solution like they
No.
had the other people?
No, no, I don't think so. Thank you.
I was thinking of Jeff.
Somehow
No,
the bump out
that's
strikes
true,
me
that's
as
true.
superfluous.
Yeah, you know, actually, I take that back. That is a good idea.
Jeff has some very
Yeah, yeah.
clear.
And, you know, one thing that we did with the Carter's house, the Carter's ex-house,
He's an architect.
that maybe we would like to recommend here, is they sat down between one meeting and the next and met with all their neighbors and really hashed some stuff out among them, which was helpful to come back to us to say, you know, everybody could live with it even if they weren't totally satisfied, if you know what I'm saying.
Love it.
Where was this for? Whose house?
The card.
I don't think
I guess it was supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen. We were hoping it would happen. I'm sorry. I take it back. That was wishful thinking.
Yes.
But there was too much animosity. Hopefully, there is not too much animosity here.
It was,
Yeah.
Greg has some family.
Yeah, okay, okay,
And
Okay.
Carter's never do that.
okay,
It's never worked out.
okay.
Well, Jeff, maybe you and Kit could get together and, you know, come up with something you're a neighbor and an architect, and you could talk to them and,
I
No.
would be very interested in knowing what you'd like us to do, aside from articulation. Coming back, because last time we were here, you recommended a 2-story addition to the south. We came back with a 1-story, and now that doesn't seem to be satisfactory.
I don't have a problem with the one story.
Thank you.
I mean, I said that. I don't know how everyone else feels.
Well, it's hard to focus on just one piece and say whether that piece is acceptable. I mean, I think
This is our third enter at fourth, actually. We've had 2 informals, plus a site visit, now formal. What we're obviously trying to avoid is wasting time and money. We appreciate your input, and what we've tried to do is incorporate it into every subsequent plan. But in all fairness.
But things
to us-
happen that you've added between every subsequent plan that we didn't anticipate, like the volume. The volume of this is much greater
It's no
than,
different from what you saw last time.
well, there was no numbers, there was no massing, there was no plans like this, we couldn't see it.
The volume is not incongruent with Westport Point at all.
But not all
Taking a
houses are the same.
670-foot addition and making it 1,600 feet,
It's not 1,600. If you remove the existing addition. there
it's
were two-
670.
there were two-
670,
there were two of them, sorry.
the square footage of the existing addition is
There were two
670
existing
feet.
additions that we're removing, both from the 80s and the
Yes.
1980s and 1990s.
Remove both those additions, it's 670 square feet of footage.
I'm not
That's-
sure.
Well, if
That's
you
what
take
adds up.
existing to remain and subtract it from 2028, that you get 670 square feet.
We're adding 600 or so 700 square feet to the existing house. On record, it's 2,200 square feet on town records. We're talking about 2,900 here, 700, call it, for purposes of this discussion. We're not adding 1,600.
No, it's 2,028. 2,028.
Town record says 2,200.
Yeah, but that doesn't. that's
That
not-
doesn't, yeah,
Okay.
because we don't know what the town record will say for
That's fine.
what you're
Either way,
planning
it's
to
not-
You
do.
can actually
So,
get a tax break.
Either way, that's why we're trying to elevate the house to the back. Either way, it's not a 1,600 foot addition.
It's,
That doesn't, that math.
That's what Kit just told us it is. Tell us, Kit, is what's replacing the
Well, let's-
existing
let's put it-
addition
I mean,
1,600 feet or
when you come
not?
back, why don't,
I can't and won't answer those questions at this point, because.
Okay,
obviously they don't
then
have-
talk to your client and answer it for him, because I can't answer it for him either.
If you're saying the house is 2,000 square feet or 2,000 and change, and we're talking about 2,900, then we're adding 900 square feet.
That's right.
Okay, not 1,600.
No, it's taking 670 and turning it into 1,600, which is about 930 square feet additional on just the addition. So the addition's going from 670 to 1,600. That's 930 square feet. We're in agreement, I think.
But the bottom line is that it's too big. That's
Come
the,
up with the right numbers and, you know.
it's just it's too much of a
I
mass.
haven't a whole map.
Can I see that again? I want to just point something out.
Believe me, I appreciate what you're going through with this process, because I was on the historical commission, and my husband and I wanted to put an addition on our house. And the architects draw something, it's beautiful, and you love it, you fall in love with it, that's what you want. You come to the commission and they say, absolutely not. And we went through it 6 or 7 times. And on my original plan, I have a little cape, was to have twice as big of a cape. And I ended up with a 6-foot addition. And you know what, it turned out fine.
We're not trying to add any.
But,
We're not-
but the thing is, if you buy a house in a historic district, as other people have said, you
Whose pen
have
is
to
this?
appreciate the fact that it is an historic home, and you can't turn it into a house that you could build up in Hopkinton.
We're not doing that. And every home I've ever owned
And
is
have a
historic.
brand new
home.
house.
Every home I've ever owned has been an antique. We've done historical renovations, studs up. We know what you're saying. We would have bought the house if we weren't good stewards of historical homes.
And we appreciate that.
But 2,900 square feet is not incongruent with this neighborhood. It is not.
But it isn't,
But it
remember, it's
is-
not just incongruent with the neighborhood, it's incongruent with the existing house.
Then what-
900 square feet more than the existing house is almost 50% more. It's like 48% more. That's what you, also as a consideration.
What is then your guidance on square footage?
We don't have, it's not, that's why we have a commission. If you could just write it all out, we could do that. And that's in fact what they've done in Nantucket. There are 300 pages of instructions, and you follow the instructions and you're fine, but you can't do shit. You couldn't do any of this, quite
I
frankly.
think part of the problem is not the 2,900 square feet, it's the 2,900 square feet on the size of your lot.
Yeah, can I make a point on what you just said?
Yeah.
When Jeff showed us this drawing of the massing of the existing house, and I appreciate what you're saying about
the average or the median square footage around the point, because there are some pretty large houses around the point that make that average a large number. But if you look at it relative to your exact neighborhood, who you abut, it looks like a McMansion kind of thing. I mean, this line was shocking to me when I saw this. I
We took your feedback from the last conversation.
understood,
And I hate to
but
say that, but this is the third time now.
Well, we're sorry
Informal
for
plus a
boring
site
you.
visit, now formal.
Well, we,
And I do want to come back and sort of get to a place where you're happy and we're happy, but I don't want the rules of engagement to change every time we come back.
yeah, I don't think
they
anybody's
do.
trying to move the goalposts, but we're trying to understand what your design is, and this was a pretty shocking revelation to us today.
And actually, I will go one step further. You did not have a butters here when we were talking about this the last time, I don't believe.
Jeff was here.
Jeff was here, okay, but not, you know, I mean, and we didn't have the elevations, we didn't have, you know, it just wasn't the same.
and it wouldn't have been approved then, and maybe we should put it to a vote now. Just
No.
Well, I think they want to continue it.
Well, I don't know, do you want a continuance?
We don't want to take a vote now.
What I was trying to get a sense of is what would be satisfactory. Can you at least give us a sense of what you like and what you don't? So that we can next time be efficient and hopefully get this done.
I
So I'm-
think
I think
succinctly,
we've
we
said a
don't like.
lot of what.
It's like pornography.
Right, and that's the problem is.
So let me just try to take.
No, that's why you have a commission and not just a set of rules. I mean, it,
And it's not your job to design your home. They
No,
have
we
given
know
you
that.
some guidance, they
So,
have given you some
Can I try to
guidance.
summarize something, at
Mhm.
least
Sure.
in my own mind?
Yeah.
So, first of all, I agree with the commission in that it's extremely hard to say you like this and you don't like that, you don't like this, because it all has to work together. And so let me finish. With that said, I think the window proportions are fine, and I love how you've broken them down into, what's it, 12 over 12, is that what it is? Or 6 over 6?
6/9.
Is it 6 over 6?
Some of each.
Yeah, well, the front's the front, yeah. And I love that you're redoing the windows to in actual construction, that's fantastic. I think that the addition going back 7 feet can work if you start to break it down into pieces as you go back. Instead of having it read as one big addition, the way that it's done, I've seen it around here that fits into the culture of the place, is it's done in stages. And what you're gonna do all at once, but you should make it look like it's at least in stages, in my opinion. So that's stepping down on the roof 2 times, the main one, the one behind it, and then the one behind that. And then the stepping in of walls, whether you use dormers or not, that's up to you. I think that has to do with articulation and overall look of the place that you're trying to create. But for me, and from what I'm hearing, the fact that it's one long extrusion, basically, is just difficult to handle down here on the point.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, Jeff, and I'm not asking for design help, but what I am asking for, I am asking for what is objectionable to the commission and to my advisors. So I hear you on the step down, your articulation, that's helpful, thank you. Is the square footage a problem? And
To me, the mass is more of a
Well,
problem.
the square footage is indicative of the mass. You know, what we're objecting to is the mass, but the square footage, you've added a lot of square footage to get that mass.
So, I mean, one thing that you could do, take the existing addition, if you just stretch that out, that would be very characteristic of the point, right?
the challenge, yeah, I'm happy to explain why I'm not doing that.
I know it's hard, I know it would be a compromise, I mean, all of us who own historic homes here know about those compromises.
Yeah.
And we've come to terms with them.
I think you've gotten a lot of feedback here, you've gotten a lot of suggestions. I would go back and look at the original house and keep it looking at the original house, and then look at what you propose and try to figure out something in between. But I think we've exhausted, the discussion for tonight.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is because we've tried to incorporate feedback from prior meetings, so I'm really looking for as much clarity as possible.
Yeah.
you.
Well, I've got a question, and Kit, maybe you can answer this question for me. The first proposed addition you showed us,
Yeah.
how many square feet was that?
I've got the picture of it.
You got the pictures, it doesn't have, but it doesn't have.
It doesn't have the square
It
foot.
doesn't have the square footage.
Of the old drawings?
Yeah. Or does it? Does it have it somewhere here?
I didn't see
No,
it.
I don't think so.
Here it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
First you came one, the other one.
Twenty, 69. Oh, it's pretty big. Looks like it was pretty big, but I can't tell.
Yeah, the original proposal was 29, it was the same 2,900 square feet.
It's the
Uh-huh.
same.
Okay.
And frankly, it stepped down telescoping, it kept the roofs low, the dormers.
How do you achieve that? You must go back further?
No, it didn't go back any further.
How do you get the same square footage without being stepped back?
No, it didn't go, does go back further than the existing
And
addition.
it doesn't step down very much.
The new one won't either.
That's the existing.
That's it.
Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more.
I apologize if we seem, it seems we've moved the goalposts. But I would like to say that I haven't heard you say, oh, yes, we'll reduce the size of it, for example, at any point in this process.
I don't think the size is.
So you're saying we have to move, we have
No, I'm not
to,
saying that at all.
Okay,
I'm
well-
asking, no, I'm not, I didn't say that. Please
Okay.
don't suggest that.
okay.
What I said is, we've had 2 informal meetings plus a site visit. This is our 4th meeting, and we have truly tried to hear you. We had a step back, Jeff, you remember, we had telescoping and we had dormers. The feedback was the dormers were too fussy. We removed the dormers. We were told this at the second meeting that no one cared as to how far back we went. It was suggested that.
I never said that. I never said that. I'm sorry, I don't heard
I'm not
no
saying
one
you did.
here. Okay.
That was the sentiment of the meeting. We were
I
told-
don't hear, I didn't hear that
That was
from
your
anyone here
interpretation. I don't
on
think
the, on
that
the commission.
I
I
would
can't
never said
imagine
that.
anybody would say that.
I didn't hear that from anyone. So I think you're misremembering.
I don't think so, but I remember the conversation.
It's been taped.
Recorded, so.
Yeah,
Get the minutes.
I think we need to
yeah.
draw this to a conclusion where either going to ask for you to vote on this submission or ask for continuance. And I leave that to Mr. Jonkis to tell you what he'd like to do.
I'm fine with a continuous, but what I'm asking, what I've tried to glean, and I think I.
We would
understand
love to
that.
draw this to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Yes,
We all would.
okay, thank you. So
Yes.
hopefully next time we'll be able to do that.
Supper. Okay.
And I think, I think several of us feel that it's too massive, and I know that I felt that the original proposal was too massive. I'm pretty sure I communicated that at the meeting. I'm sorry if it wasn't received. But, I think that's a big concern here.
I think maybe one of the things that we learned is that, you know, it seems to me, it's interesting, because it seems to me it's more massive now than it was. And maybe that's because it's a 2-story wall versus dormers, and maybe that type of articulation you might want to look again.
We talked about that, and
Yeah.
frankly, I was surprised
Yeah.
that the feedback last time was just do it straight back. That was the feedback.
Yeah.
Because I was afraid
That
that
wasn't
you would
my
have that was the feedback, and I was afraid that that was gonna be the reaction.
Yeah, so if that, I mean, if you interpret that as the feedback, I think that you're hearing now that's
That
not
wasn't the feedback.
what's needed.
Maybe it's straight back, but you've got 2 stories and then you're 1 story. It's not like
Okay, we'll take it back to the drawing board.
Okay. Maybe we have a continuance.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Yes. We'll see you on the, what is it, the 12th now?
June 12th.
June 12th. Okay, finally, 7 Windward Way. 7 Windward Way, our next presentation. It's also Kit's.
Also Kit.
This, however, is not seen from the street,
No.
not seen from the water.
You can't see it.
Why did we have a continuance on this? It was just.
He wanted to work
No,
something
no,
out.
no, we couldn't hear it the first time it was presented because that was the beginning of this month and we hadn't sent out
We hadn't sent,
the agenda. The agenda hadn't been posted.
yeah.
I thought we had approved it.
So the question on this
Well, I think
is,
it wasn't a fully formed plan at the time. You know,
when I brought you a very small change on the existing garage.
Right.
Where we added the door.
Right.
For my office.
Right.
And you agreed at that point that it was appropriate for a determination of non-applicability because it wasn't visible from a public way.
Right.
And so the question became on this larger project with the garage addition, is it in fact visible from a public way? And you asked me to do my homework about its visibility from a public way. And I determined that if you look very, very carefully from Main Road,
Thank you.
you can actually see the roof of this house way down below. And
Right. Wait, is there a,
blew up.
Line of visibility. Main Road.
And I will admit that this house is visible from a public way. Can you see it there?
well, we don't count vegetation, so.
Not really.
Not really, you can't see
Can't
it.
see it from the road.
No. It's,
Maybe see the
No, but
chimney.
that is where we would look at from Main Road.
From Main Road.
Yes.
And you say you don't count vegetation.
No.
I would maintain that anything that obliterated that vegetation would have to be a raging fire that would take out the whole.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Is it visible without vegetation? That's the criteria.
So, the answer is it would be visible. without
Okay.
vegetation.
Okay,
So-
then here you are.
So here we are.
Good.
And this house started out life as a chicken coop. There are 3 or 4 buildings right in this area that are all part of one property.
That's the one you can't get.
That's the one. So the existing house is very low. And the garage that I'm proposing to put on is about 19 inches higher than the existing house.
Right.
It's off the west end of the house,
Mhm.
and seen from here, and seen from the street, which is about 30 feet higher than the house,
Mhm.
the garage would be way off in here, and I'm not even sure that you, from that angle, you'd be able to perceive the difference in the roof height.
why does the garage have to be higher than the main?
Because he's putting a second floor story on it.
We're putting some storage space on top.
Still. Is there no second floor on the first, on the
No,
original?
there
There's
isn't.
no second floor on this.
No attic, no
There's
nothing.
an attic, but it's a very, very low, very crowded attic.
What are the materials on the existing house?
It's like an asphalt roof and one cedar shingles.
Cedar shingle?
Yeah.
And that's what you're planning to do on the addition?
I would maintain, the notion of it being taller than the existing house certainly applies to the historic houses in the district.
That's fine.
This is not a
That's fine.
historic
It's
house.
just a
We
question.
It's not a
understand.
historic house. And-
It's on Windward
and I
Way.
would maintain this would have zero impact
I
you
know.
can't even
on
pass
the
through that
district
street.
as it exists.
Any abutters here to comment on this? No.
No.
Any other general public comments?
Isn't it visible from the river?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Very, very, I didn't have a boat, I couldn't go out and take a photograph.
In theory,
I think
in
you're-
theory.
I think you're,
There's a photograph of the river, and
I
if
think in
we
your-
can see the river, the river can see you.
Yeah, there's a photograph in the handout
I-
that shows.
Oh, that shows the river, that it is visible from the river?
Yes.
Okay.
But you can't see it because of the
Wait, is this from the river? No,
No.
that's Main Road, hold on. I'm sorry, I'll go back a couple of
very dense
pages.
vegetation.
Yeah, well,
And then you have to count it.
they're not.
You can see the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one,
And
it's Windward
raising
Way, I
the,
mean,
the roof
nobody walks by.
provides space for the dormer,
Yeah.
and presumably
Yes,
a view of the river from up there.
so, well, we're not even interested in the view of the
You're
river.
not living because you're using it for storage,
We're
you're
interested in
saying?
the storage space.
Yeah, there is the river. I see the river, so yes, this will be visible from the river, but it's a long ways away.
It's a long ways away.
Yes.
And if you could see that from the river, you wouldn't be seeing any other part of the historic district.
Right,
Unless all the trees were.
right. But we don't count trees.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
any comments from the commission members?
It looks
What's-
fine.
What's the square footage of this? Garage?
It's 24 by 27, so 650 square feet, something like that.
It seems a little incongruous, but, you know, I don't think it's significant.
It's not great architecture.
No,
Just-
it's
just-
not great art.
It's entirely pragmatic.
Well,
And
that's not why we're in a historic district. If we were, if we were really practical, we'd all live in Newton. Anyway, it's fine.
What are the doors?
The doors
These
are.
garage doors? What are the garage doors? Just wondering, is this gonna be a brand new build? What is it?
Like, this is not at all. you
It's
know,
not,
It's, it's covered to
Converse.
this.
Those are part of the garage doors. Yeah, no.
And it's really not.
are they wooden?
And there's no,
This
okay,
looks like a garage door.
got it.
It does. I
The
think it's a window.
connector. Okay, any comments, questions?
I just had a question, what the material was for the garage doors, just curious. Are they wood?
probably fiberglass,
Fiberglass?
something like
And you
that.
just sort of roll up?
Yeah.
I don't have any issues with this. Windward
Anybody?
Way is not,
No, I think it's fine, I mean, especially given
it's
the
not a
the
public way.
distance from the,
Do I hear a
Can't see
motion?
it.
Do I hear a motion?
I move
I move
we
that we
accept the
approve the plan.
proposal. Yeah, okay. fair
Second?
enough.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's been a long meeting.
Yeah.
Do we have any monitors' reports?
I have yours. I have
I
yours.
thought we started there.
978,
Oh, no, that was the non-applicability.
97.
Oh, Miles reports. That was-
Monitors' reports.
You do sevens like me.
I should have it anyway.
That's the
No.
French style, you know?
Any new business? Going once.
Is this Spanish?
I just wanted to report that I submitted the,
Yeah, so it's European.
Hold on, guys, we're still in meeting.
I submitted the Form B to the Mass Historical Commission for Cadman's Neck, for the house on Cadman's Neck. And as far as I
Now,
can tell,
did you do this yourself? You did it yourself?
Wait, that's what first.
well, Elizabeth did the
Okay.
research, but then it was actually quite a bit of work to
Okay, well,
like put it into their format.
Because,
And
see,
anyway,
now you're our expert, so
No.
we'll expect you to
now I
submit
know how
all
to do
of
it.
these.
Now I know how to do it. So.
I have just one quick note.
Yeah, yeah.
Garrett and Bev and I are on the solar roof subcommittee, and we have a little bit of movement on some research that I'm doing with
Great.
trying to get the rep from Certainty to come here and present to us. So I'm working on that and
Great.
see if we can get some education about the newest solar roof shingles that are
Right.
supposedly going to be available soon. They were introduced in April at the National Roof Conference that they have. And the rep is going to
Yeah, and it'd be good to
get the rep.
maybe advertise that a little bit to the neighborhood.
If I can get this guy to call me
Yeah,
back, that'll be a
yeah,
first
yeah,
step, but
yeah.
yeah, I've got the connection now, so.
Well, we'll put it in the agenda if you give it to me.
It'll
soon
be at
enough.
some lead
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I might
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
try to invite him for the June 12th meeting, maybe,
Yeah.
or, I'm sorry,
Because that'll go
the
to
July
everybody at the
meeting.
point. That goes, you know,
I'll try to invite him for the July meeting.
Okay.
Put it
Neighborhood
as a resource, and
association
if we
puts it
can
in
The
there,
neighborhood
get
association, yeah.
educated,
distributes it
maybe
to
your
everyone.
shingles
I had one more thing.
Yeah.
Go to.
So
Wait, one more thing?
Yes,
Sorry.
there's actually money from the CPC available to do a survey of the point for a Form A, which is an area listing in the historical inventory. There's about $3,000.
To do a survey of,
For Form A.
To create an application to the Massachusetts Historical Commission to list the point as an area, as historical area.
Now, what are the implications of that?
I don't think there are any really.
Then what is the value of it? Let's
Well,
start there.
the value is it becomes, part of the inventory and available to researchers and.
And the fact that it's a historic area in the district here doesn't make any difference to Massachusetts, you're saying? So it's just taking the fact that we're a historic district and making sure the state promulgates that, is that correct?
Well, it would be for the point. It wouldn't be the.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why are you not notifying the owners or their representatives of these hearings? The law, as I've read it, is very clear about that.
Wait, notifying the,
I should have had a
Oh.
notice by mail, as it states in the law, and I have not had for either.
Were you in a butter
no, she's the owner
I'm the owner.
of which house?
of 7 Windward Way.
Windward Way.
and you wanted a mailing?
Sorry?
Oh, is the owner?
I haven't said a word.
Okay.
What, I'm not.
We
clear on
will,
what
we
you-
will going forward if we haven't to date.
You have not.
Okay,
done
we
this,
will.
And I have talked with Jeff, I've talked with.
We will, we will.
And no one has received notification.
We will send notices to the
And
owners.
it's very, very clear in the law.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Postage.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Certified.
Thanks.
Anyway, this may not be the time to really discuss this, but I just wanted to let you know there is about $3,000. We could hire a consultant, other people who do this, and they would, basically make a survey of.
I don't have an issue with that. Does anybody have an
I
issue
think
with
it'd be
that?
fun, kind of nice to have that.
It's kind of nice. It's nice to have to put it on the state inventory.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, maybe we
let's,
should.
So can we ask you to tell us what the next step is and we'll
Yeah,
approve
well,
it?
why don't, I move that we hire a consultant to
Okay.
look into getting a Form A listing
Do we have a second? Okay.
A
for Westport
second.
Point.
I
The
second
point
it.
terminus, the point terminus.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
If she's the owner of 7 Windward Way, do you mean to tell me she didn't know that we were gonna have this?
The
hearing?
law states that we have to notify the owner at the same time we notify the abutters. We discussed this at our last meeting.
Why doesn't the software provide for that mail?
I don't know why the software doesn't provide
Maybe
for
we should
that.
amend the software.
I don't know how to amend the software.
Neither
Does
do
anyone
I.
here know how to do that? Bob, do you know anything about amending software?
I don't.
I
Would
don't.
she like it on my Tiffany or my Shreve stationery?
I would
Just,
like,
I just say duplicate whatever you're doing to the
Yeah, whatever we're
abutters
sending
and
to the
send it to
abutters,
the
we'll just
owner.
change the
And just
address
send
and
it
send
to
it to
the
the owner.
I'm sorry.
Add one more.
But, if
Yeah,
it's in the
if that's the
bylaws,
rule,
we
I-
have to do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
We don't
the
really
owner
have a
doesn't know that
choice.
they're having their own meeting.
Jeff didn't know we were
I
having
mean, does
this?
the architect
You
tell them
know, they all know that we're having it, but the law says that we gotta notify them. I suppose that's in case, for some reason, we don't put them on the agenda, and then they come and they've wasted their time. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, we're not making the laws.
I'm not making the law.
Yeah, I mean, it
And
is.
last time I tried to change the law, I got shot down.
Let's
massive design.
She doesn't have a.
Can I have a motion?
You know, it's just a shit
It's
show.
really, yeah.
Second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Thank you.